Hi guys, a very good afternoon. Maswera say welcome to Africa NPN Television Network. And this afternoon we need to quickly take a look onto important matters. President Nelson Chamisa announced that he departed from Triple C, and the whole world is seized with such a decision. He is actually trending across the whole world. Advocate Nelson Chamisa is trending. And let us take a look on Nelson Chamisa's next possible move and what is expected out of Nelson Chamisa. What are the possible decisions which can be made by President Nelson Chamisa at this moment in time? So remember that we are giving an analysis, which means we have to watch and see how he's going to deal with this situation himself. So what I think is that there are two ways, two possibilities, if not three. Possibility number one, there is a great possibility that President Nelson Chamisa will form a new party. MPs will resign from Triple C and will join the new party he will be leading. What it means is Shavangu is likely going to lose somewhere around 50 to 58 MPs so far, which he is claiming to be his own from Triple C, which means if these MPs resign and we go to an election and we win those seats, it means Nelson Chamisa will have somewhere like around 50 plus MPs. That is possibility number one. Then he can actually try to fight from within parliament. But is that the case? Is that the most convenient route? Personally, I doubt that it will be the most convenient route, which means, yes, it's a possibility, but without convenience, because it can also be manipulated. What we need right now is a collective action where we have elections in Zimbabwe which are free, fair, credible, transparent, and which everybody will actually call an election, not child's play we witnessed in Zimbabwe a few months ago. So, secondly, there is a great possibility that President Nelson Chamisa can be an independent politician without any political party. Then will force SADC to implement its resolution on Zimbabwe. It can happen. There is a crisis. If there's a crisis already in Zimbabwe, and if President Nelson Chamisa manages to have the MPs pull out of parliament, the crisis will double or triple. What it means is that the survival of ZANU-PF then would be difficult, which means SADC will be forced to actually apply pressure and deal with the situation in Zimbabwe. Already, this move made by President Nelson Chamisa is sending shockwaves across the SADC region, because those who believed that Nelson Chamisa was going to cling onto Triple C for quite some time, they've been disappointed and they no longer know what to do next. So the issue of illegitimacy in Zimbabwe has started all over again. And this time around, it's taking a new angle, a different angle. Because President Nelson Chamisa has made it clear that is now focusing on national issues, which means this is a national decision which needs to be done. So this completely removes the idea of pulling out MPs to have a by-election. What it means is the approach being taken by President Nelson Chamisa is a national election approach, not a by-election approach. So that is very, very, very important to take note of. So if he manages to convince SADC to actually put more pressure on the situation in Harare, then you will see things starting to happen. So there are details which I'll carefully try not to say, because we need to remain focused on important matters. We need to remain on the options, which I believe we can actually take. So you'd see that there is a great possibility that the regime is going to be forced to the negotiating table. It's going to be forced to come up with a dialogue so that we can talk about electoral reforms. Remember, President Nelson Chamisa said the current setup, which is right here, is not conducive for free, fair, credible elections, which means they will need, if SADC is to come, they will need to come so that they speak first about reforms. Once they've dealt with the issues of reforms, then elections will follow. So it's a very, 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 very difficult moment right now. And one thing for sure is that if elections are allowed to happen, it's impossible for Zimbabwe Electoral Commission to run these elections, because it has been declared an entity without capacity to run elections. It has been exposed several times. That is very, very important to note, which means there will be need for an independent body to come and run these elections. So that is something very important. And one of the suggested issues was that this needs to be appointed by all political players. So let me break down something very important. There is a rumor that we are going to have ZANU-PF on the negotiating table. We are going to have NERA on the negotiating table. This is a grouping of around 25 presidents. Then we are going to have President Nelson Chamisa and others on the negotiating table. So you have seen that President Nelson Chamisa has highlighted the issues of Xavier Kasukwe, how he was removed from the ballot, and how he was disqualified. All those things he has spoken about them, which means there is a very clear strategy which is being implemented right here. And we believe that in the next few days, a lot of people will start to appreciate that. So as I always say, it's difficult for the MPs to remain in parliament, because once you remain there and fresh elections are ordered, what are you going to do? How are you going to survive? Where are you going to stand? Because the people will say, okay, you chose to stand with A, B, C, D. We are not with you. So I have talked about two possible options right there. And I believe that it's either we have the by-elections under a new party, or we have a fresh elections in the nation of Zimbabwe. So as I said, when we were talking about the formation of a new party, I said, when you see a new party being formed, just know that elections are imminent. And that will be a confirmation of fresh elections in Zimbabwe. And there is a great possibility that that's going to happen. So meanwhile, President Mnangagwa is actually recycled ZEC leader chairperson, that is Priscilla Chigumba. She has been given another 6 years to run the ZEC mandate. That is up to around 2029. So this is what is happening in Zimbabwe. At this moment in time, maybe 2029 or 2030, somewhere there. And the major question is, how are they going to stop the elections to come, fresh elections to come, when there's a crisis looming in Zimbabwe and it can escalate at any point in time?